Hey BG,
Hi,
how you
Feather.
feeling?
Girl, I am tired. I had a time last night.
Yeah, you did. I saw you on that dance
Mhm.
floor.
Yeah.
There is footage I can use against you, so be careful with me
Feel free,
now.
girl. I ain't scared.
You ain't scared when you own your truth,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
It's a funny thing about accountability.
Hmm.
So how are you feeling? Sorry. How are you feeling? This is your second or third trip to Durham.
um, this is my third trip.
Okay, how you feel? Oh yeah, that's right. You were here. We met during the Rule 59 motion.
Yes.
Okay. How do you think Brene is feeling now that she's seeing you so regularly?
Um, Based on her facial expression when she comes around the corner, and we're sitting out there waiting for court to actually be in. Oh, she's very bothered.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I concur with that. The
Hmm.
last trip where I first met you,
Hmm.
you could see her demeanor changing immediately as soon as she
Hmm.
saw you. Does that affect you in any way?
Oh no,
No.
absolutely not. I mean, I'm not making contact with her where I'm saying something to her or I'm walking up to her with the phone in her face or anything. All my recording has been like at a distance. Um, so yeah, but just my presence alone, and it's weird because we would hear her say online how uncomfortable she makes Akira.
Mm,
And so we're not there to make her uncomfortable. However, we understand that like through her facial expression, she's very uncomfortable.
right. It's
Yeah.
ironic.
Hmm.
You got to be careful what you say on social media because it comes back
It
to you.
does. It
Absolutely.
does.
So let's go back,
Okay.
all the way back in time to when Black
Ooh.
Goddess was just a little mini goddess.
Okay.
Okay. Were you born and raised in Mississippi?
Yes,
Okay.
I
How
was.
do you like live? Do you still live in Mississippi?
I do.
How do you like it?
Um, to be honest, I like Mississippi, um, because I was born and raised there. However, if I was to choose any state to live in, it
Hmm.
would be Florida.
Florida.
Yes.
Okay. Is it because of the beach? You just like the climate?
I love the atmosphere
Mm.
of Florida. I love the weather. West Palm Beach specifically.
Hmm.
Miami is too hot.
It's because I've heard a rumor that it's because Caramel lives there.
Oh, girl,
Yeah.
no.
No, it's
Matter of
not.
fact,
That's not
I
why it's
just,
hot.
oh,
Careful what you say now.
no.
She'll hear it.
I'm trying because I have eyes on me, even though the camera cannot see it.
So Caramel's our filmographer right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's side eyeing. She's side eyeing. So okay, could we convince you to move to North Carolina?
Oh, no. But you know what? I enjoy being here for the purpose in which we do come. And also, I love the link ups, the meeting, the hanging out with everybody. So,
Is everybody on boots on the ground what you expected when you met them in person?
yes, I'm most definitely so. What I did not expect is the bond that we have created with one another. I didn't expect the sisterhood. I didn't expect. We were gonna come meet. We didn't think that our presence being here would make such an impact. That's number one.
Right.
And then number two, by the interaction and the fact that we have been on one accord covering this case to get in court to see how close we were to, different things, um, discussion, how on point we have been. That was another thing. And I think like the connection was already there. I don't think we realized how in sync we were with one another, but meeting is what like kind of sealed that bond.
Yeah.
And so it's like a connection that I pray that we'll forever be able to hold on to.
Yeah, absolutely. So going back in time again,
Hmm.
is there anything about you? What would you like to share? I'd love to know a little bit more about you.
I love children.
Mm.
That's a big thing, which is why I went into the field of social work.
Mm.
So I am a licensed master level social worker,
Wow.
actually getting ready to walk into supervision so that I can become a licensed clinical social worker.
Mm.
And so, but I love children. I love working with families. Um, and I have a daughter. My
Mm.
baby is 12, And so, and I love being a mommy.
Yeah.
I love, that's the most rewarding part of, I would say, my life, is that I have a beautiful daughter that I'm so, connected with. And I love my role as a mother.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
Respect that. So let's go back in time.
Okay.
When did you start making a presence on social media?
I made a presence on social media when my daughter's father got married,
Yeah.
and so we was communicating and talking, and to help me deal with that moment, I started to talk about my emotions and feelings, and I connected away with the audience in telling a story.
Yeah.
And it was so, girl, you have to go back and watch. You have to go back through like 50 million videos because of all the Renee and Tim and Nakira Devin videos. But that's how I started. That's how I originally started connecting with the audience. Then I took a break from TikTok, and then I started eating cornstarch, and well, flour was my thing. And then they kind of convinced me to try the cornstarch, and I tried it with ice one day, and then it was the
So
flour
sensory
and
videos, like
cornstarch.
ASMR videos.
Yes.
Okay.
So I started
I
to get
love
into
ASMR.
that, but due to, like, it started to like, the not the flour, I would so much say, but the cornstarch started to deplete my iron so fast
Yeah.
that it began to have an effect on my health.
Right.
So when I had to have a blood transfusion, like,
That's
and I
that.
had to go through iron infusions and stuff that I never had to do when I was eating flour,
Mm.
I had to step back
Yeah.
from it. So
Is it because cornstarch like absorbs those minerals in your blood?
yes,
Wow.
quickly. I
Oh.
mean, very fast. Even though I was not consuming it, like, I consumed a little bit of it, but even though I'm not consuming it, and I was doing like the expelling, it still was getting into the system.
Yeah.
So, yep. So that's when I took a step back, and then I was just on TikTok.
Okay. And
Hmm.
you came across Brene, or had you already seen her,
Well,
knew of her?
I had been following her content for a while, and like I said, I was off and on TikTok, but I was, still following her. But during this particular time that I got back onto TikTok, and it was during the time that I was eating flour and getting into the starch, the first video that I seen was of her and Devin, where she announced that she was divorcing. And I was like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was really rooting for them. Like I said, because I liked it, what I've seen, and that's what I was hit with. And immediately there was no thought of like what happened, what was going on. I had seen all the videos. Um, and I just remember saying, dang, I just really hate it, but why is this guy is here talking about Tim?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, if he's a mutual, why isn't he with Devin? He's spending a lot of time. So I'm seeing the comments. I'm
Oh, you
reading the
brought up a good
comments.
point. You're seeing Tim in all of Brene's content, but this is
Mhm.
supposedly Devin's cousin or friend. Why isn't
Mhm.
he with Devin?
Right.
Interesting, yeah.
Never saw anything like, it was just too much
Intermingling?
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm seeing the comments, but even with the comments, I'm not jumping to conclusion. I'm the type of person where I like to give people the benefit of the doubt until I know better.
Right.
And so that's what I did.
So it starts progressing. So what
Mhm.
you're pointing out is the video of her announcing her divorce, which was around February of
Mhm.
2024, right?
Mhm.
That means that in just the course of a year,
Mhm.
we can all attest that a ton of information starts
Mhm.
being shown. Who's
Mhm.
showing most of that information?
It's Renee.
Interesting. I thought
It's
she never spoke out for two
Oh,
years.
she most definitely was speaking out,
Yeah.
and she most definitely was telling a story that wasn't we weren't supposed to catch on to.
Mm.
It's like the movie that I described when talking to my supporters on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of, in Best Man, when Tay Diggs writes the
Mm-hmm.
book,
Yep.
and he's writing about their experience in college and things that had happened, but he's using these different names because his name is Harper, and you got Mia, and you got this person, and so he's telling all of this information in the book. Nobody's supposed to figure out that they are the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I kind of feel like she's pointing out something, she's telling us something we're not supposed to realize and know. So I always felt like it was a soft launch. Like, well, when I look back, I felt like it was a soft launch of introducing Tim.
Interesting. Where do you think it started to fall apart? And we're talking about a short period, right? So
Mm-hmm.
she announces in February of 2024, and then
Mm-hmm.
in May of 2024, Akira files her lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think it started falling apart? And do you think that Brené's demeanor had anything to do with
Um,
that?
I think it fell apart. I don't really feel like it fell apart in any of that time frame.
Oh, okay. People were
I
still
think
buying the story.
I want someone to say it's buying the story, but people were just allowing it to go. I think that people, when the lawsuit initially hit, they kind of knew that, yeah. But the thing that I felt like really blew it out the water was when Devin made a video.
Mm.
And so for me, I was still given the benefit of the doubt. Even though there was lawsuits being filed, never looked into it. Even though I had heard about, oh, Brene, you threatened that girl and she was going to, booty bop you upside your head, but you called the police on her and had her locked up. I still didn't jump into it. But the thing that caught my attention was when Devin Mayo sat in the car one night, August the 19th of 2024.
Mm.
That was the moment that I was intrigued.
You said, okay, there's definitely more to
Something
this.
is going on.
Do you think it was his body language, the way he was saying things? What, like you said, you tend to give people the benefit of the doubt until they prove you wrong, or until they prove otherwise. What do you think it was? Because now Caramel also said something similar when I interviewed her. She said, when I heard his words, I said, oh no, so she's lying. What do you think it was about that video?
It was everything about the video. Him sitting in the car and not in his home. It was super dark where you can hear birds. I mean, the crickets chirping. I mean, well, not chirping, but whatever the little noise that they make. So you can hear crickets. Like, I mean, literally, he's in the dark in the car. There's no light shining on his face other than the light that's like maybe outside from a pole. And it was like very dreary. It was just off. Like it was like you can tell that this man is in a dark space.
Yeah.
But the thing is too, when you look at from February up until August, that was a lot that was going on that I don't think the world noticed.
Yeah.
And so the moment that he started to talk about what actually transpired, because I always say that she ran a narrative that nobody challenged because there was nothing to challenge and compare it to.
Yeah.
But now the husband has spoken, and even though it was months later, even in that video, we did not notice how much weight Devin had lost. That's another thing that I knew that I missed. It wasn't until he was outside of that car, and I think it was like the start of something, him modeling,
right,
that it grasped the world attention, and it was like, oh my gosh.
This affected him for sure.
Yes.
To your point, there was no lighting. There's no this, join me for a story time. It wasn't
Right.
performative at all. It was kind of like, I can't believe I have to do this right now. I remember him saying words like that. Like, I never expected to have to do this. But you could see that he was very sad, very almost desolate. He looked very impacted by it. And of course, if you're going through a breakup, behavior matters, right? And we're nobody to judge per se how somebody overcomes a relationship or moves on from a relationship, but there are tells, right? I think for me personally, one of them was when she announced her divorce. It was almost in a mischievous way. She's biting her nail. She's like, everything's fine, everybody's cool, go follow Devin, he's still my bro type of energy. And he's visibly
everything is goody.
Everything's fine.
Me and Devin getting a divorce.
She's chuckling to herself.
It was like you go back, it looks very weird that you would be that excited about announcing a divorce for one, and you're not hurt, you're not sad,
right?
not even just a little.
Even if it's amicable,
right?
It still hurts because you're separating a household and everything.
Really weird. And even if she went on into the videos, it was, oh, we're good. I'm happy. That's the one thing that I do believe, that she was in a space that was truly, where she was truly happy.
Yeah.
And that the other thing that was a lie was that her and Devin, it was a mutual agreement, because that's what she had told us as her supporters who watched her,
right?
You know, and literally support, whether you come in it. I was a silent watcher.
Yeah. So then now let's fast forward, right? We've got 2024. His video is like a bomb and it drops. Now people are starting to go backwards, because that's the thing about Brene that's so polarizing in this case, is how much evidence, and I'm using evidence as a loose term here, but just how much she gave you in terms of analyzing her behavior, the things that she said. Because if there's one thing I will always stand on, is that Brene is very intentional when she speaks.
Yes.
She's very good at, even in the subliminal messaging, taking jabs.
Yeah.
So how do you feel throughout 2024 and into 2025, when you're starting to now put all the puzzle pieces together, and you're really starting to say, oh my gosh, I missed that time. At what point did you decide, oh no, I'm going to start speaking on this?
It was the moment that I made a video in response to the way Devin Mayo had changed. And it wasn't a bad change. Like, he had lost a significant amount of weight and he looked really good. And so I made a video and I put a K Michelle song on, Cry. And I was like, this is what, and it was comical. It was meant to be comical. This is what Devin is going to say to Brene. I hadn't gotten into the court documents or anything. And I posted it. And a lot of people liked the video, thought it was cute and funny. But she didn't.
Brene responded to you.
Brene responded to me.
Wow.
Yes.
What'd she say?
So when she responded to me, she said, y'all can like Devin, but keep me out of it. And the thing was, I never tagged her in the video. So I just found it very weird that out of everybody who had been talking about you prior to, this is around maybe September, like end of September, when I make a video, you know, just complimenting on Devin's look, she commented.
So you struck a nerve.
Apparently I did.
What do you think it is about people prophesying? Because essentially it's kind of like a prophetic message, right? You were basically saying the song is obviously read as a dig, but you can already foresee that his come up is going to be strong. He's getting ready, you know, he's losing weight. Had he already hinted that he was modeling?
Yes.
Okay, so you're celebrating him. Why do you think that got under her skin like that?
I'm not sure. To this day, I'm not sure. I've not known her to actually comment like a lot like that, especially, well, I've never ever commented on any of her videos. But the moment that she commented on my video and I did not tag you, it was like, why? You know, that was the question. Like, I see you made it to my comment section. So while I have your attention, let me ask you some questions.
Oh.
So I did a response video with her question tagged at the top, and I read the question, and I said, well, you a Christian woman, so do you realize what the Bible say about this? Do you realize that you give the appearance that you got something going on with this woman's husband? And then I told her that she wasn't taking accountability for her actions. Oh, she responds again.
Ooh.
So then when she responds again, oh, I get that question, make another video. And I said, I didn't say that you didn't take any accountability. I'm just saying that you're not taking accountability for the things that we are seeing. And then also I let her know that these are videos you are recording of someone else's husband. And this is the way that they're being interpreted. So you're given the appearance, there's a part in the Bible that says, don't let your good be evilly spoken of. If there was some good in it, you're given the appearance that you have something going on with this woman's husband. So she blocks me. So I'm like, let me pull these court documents. Because people had posted it, and it was talking about mini skirts, the twirling of the hair, the flicking of the tongue ring. It was just very detailed, the complaint. So I go in, and it started off with me just reading the court documents and people being very intrigued about what they were seeing, because people had discussed it, but I was like digging into it.
Yeah.
But my digging into it made me go back and pull receipts from videos as it relates to what the court questions were asking.
Some real PI work.
Yes. Then shortly after, and I think like for me, it was like perfect timing because this lawsuit had been out since May. Shortly after I started pulling the documents, she comes up with her first response to the first set of interrogatories. So that just like blew the top. So I'm like, girl, oh, you were seen in the video twerking on somebody's husband. Oh, you were doing this. Not knowing how severely bad this was until jury trial.
Yeah. Okay, so before we get to jury trial, I want to put a pin in that because there is a very pivotal moment in the lore, the Brenéverse, that we need to talk about. And that is a very famous live stream that you hosted where Barbie was on it, another member of Boots on the Ground, which, by the way, I'm going to say this in every interview, we did not give ourselves that name.
We did.
Nobody. Anybody who refers to any of us as Boots on the Ground, that is a moniker given by the TikTok community.
Yes.
Because we have been present at court cases. So you are on this live stream with Barbie. And was it in Devin that you had originally invited, or was it Brene and Tim? Neither. Okay, so they were all listening.
So what happened was, from my understanding of how this went down, there was a young lady by the name of Yaya who had claimed that Brene had did some like racial slurs and stuff like that of nature all over her doing Tim's hair. So we don't know, how true it was, how we was just, like, oh, during this time Yaya is pregnant and in the hospital. This day I remember very vividly. So
what was Yaya's ethnicity, if you don't mind me asking?
Mexican, I believe. Hispanic.
Okay.
So at this time we had just come to learn her, listening to, just listening to her and stuff like that. I had gotten off work, was in Yaya's live, and I was getting ready to get off, and I see Tim pops up in Yaya live. I screenshot his comment. I can't even remember exactly what his comment was, but I screenshot it. And so, which is why when I went live that night, you had Yaya picture in the back of my live, as the background in my live. I was actually discussing Tim coming over to Yaya's live that day. Well, this young lady came in my live not by the name of Britt, who claimed to be a family member of Brene.
Interesting. Okay.
So this is how this gets popping off. And so she was talking about Brene's mom, Lakeisha Jones. If y'all seen the interview, not the interview, the live, how it went. So whatever the things that Britt was saying, I remember reading in the chat, people were saying was like from my chat to Brene's snap, and they was going back with messages of what was going on in my live with the young lady Britt, and they was relaying messages back to Brene. Brene was saying, "Oh, that's not my cousin. I don't know who she is." But for whatever reason, that night, they had blocked me. So Lakeisha Jones appeared. That's Brene's mom. in my live on the panel with Britt. Then comes Kayla. So they go to talking, and Britt that day it was so funny because Britt was going off and she was cussing. You know, TikTok don't allow that type of language when it's excessive, and so Lakeisha comes in to confront her. They say Corinne was down in the comment section of my live, and all of a sudden Tim pops up. When I tell you it caught me off guard, it caught me off guard. So Tim pops up and he was like, "Oh, we gonna do this, we gonna do it. We gonna do it, we gonna do it." And then Brene comes in, and then they gonna address me. Lakeisha, hi Regina. And immediately I know what that is about. Hi Lakeisha is my
So
response.
she refers to you by your given name, yeah. Yes. Instead of your handle. How did she learn what your real name was?
I had been doxxed.
Oh, okay.
Like months before.
Okay.
So I had been doxxed, had this whole page, you know, just floating around. But that's how my name first initially got exposed. And so she comes in, they're talking, Renee comes in. I'm not going to block you from my main page because you couldn't block me from your main page because I had blocked you back. So even if you unblock me, you saw that you were still blocked.
Right.
Because I blocked you back. So that's how they came to my live, and it was just insane and crazy. I think I was overstimulated, but I got a lot of backlash from that live. And the reason being is because I did a lot of videos where I was challenging a lot of things that she had said in videos dealing specifically with the court documents. So people wanted me to have the energy that I had in the videos with her in person. But there was two things that I knew. Number one, I never was going to come to you hostile, but also you didn't come to me hostile anyway.
Right.
So I didn't have a reason to be hostile with you back, you know.
And that wouldn't have led to a productive conversation.
It wouldn't have. Number two was that she came in aggressive, but I understood. Like I said, I'm a social worker. I deal with that type of stuff anyway. Attitudes, people being aggressive. I'm the one to calm you down. You know, I'm not the one that rah 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 back at you. I'll let you say how you feel. By the time I get through talking to you, you're apologizing for the way you came off. So people wanted me to go in a full blown blow for blow with this girl. This was my moment. They was like, "Oh, you backpedal." I said on my platform like I was a fan, and that wasn't the case. Number one, I wanted to protect the integrity of this lawsuit because I work in the court system, so I understood and I knew. Me asking questions from a screen is totally different from me asking a question to you face to face. You're the main character, you're the main party. So me asking you questions, most definitely, I don't think we would have had the results that we had, which we will probably later talk about in jury trial, had I really went in, because it would have put them at a disadvantage.
Right.
Not only that, my knowledge of the court documents, I knew their court documents from front to back. That's why I'm able to say specific dates, because I know it from I've read it, I've discussed it.
You're used to the details.
Yes. So we get into her being on the live, and me and her going back and forth would immediately have shut my live down. Barbie went in on her, but even I had to not shut Barbie down, but calm her down. So there was a lot of muting the mics because it was my platform,
right,
which would have gotten suspended.
Right.
So I knew that I had to protect my platform, number one. And number two, I knew that if we had gotten into an argument, it wasn't going to last no longer than 3 minutes. And we wouldn't have gotten all that we had gotten from that live had I had that type of energy.
Did somebody go and get Devin? Because he ended up showing up on that live,
well,
right?
Devin and I follow each other on social media anyway. We were following it, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure maybe the people probably was hitting up his inbox like, they do hours, with, oh, so and so is live. Nobody summons Devin to come, but he came. And then there was the moment where there was conversation between Devin and Tim. Akira never came on the platform, but I don't know, excuse me, if she was actually, watching. So it was a lot that went down. So that was the infamous live that
it's still talked about, by the way.
Yeah.
I was asked to watch it just last week. I had only seen it for the first time or heard it last week.
Oh,
so
wow.
when I tell you I was following from a high level, and it wasn't until we got to the court case or the trial itself that I was like, "Oh, let me zero in," because y'all were giving real-time updates of what was happening, and people were in the comments saying, "Well, it's because of this," or "This is what's going to happen next." In my head, I'm like, "No, no, 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 that's not what's going to happen." So I'm also doing some homework into the lore, and that's when I saw the video. And now that I know you and Barbie, it's even funnier to look back and witness that.
Yes.
So now let's fast forward. At what point did you decide, okay, I'm going to this court case. I'm going to go listen in, because you, working in social work, understand that being a witness at a court case and going to public hearings is your constitutional right.
Yeah.
When did you decide, okay, I'm going to be there in
my
person?
supporters kept pushing me.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It was like, you've been covering this from day one. You deserve to be there.
And how do you feel about the criticism you received about how you were reporting on it?
It makes you question if you're too invested. It makes you like, do I need to pull it back? But it was like, people were so intrigued that they wanted to know.
Right.
I don't know if, and I recognized that, yeah, this is something that's different. We've never seen anybody vlog their whole affair.
Right.
We've seen people have affairs with, their best friend's spouse, and, relationships fall apart because the spouse cheated. We've seen maybe a little clippings here and there, maybe a little evidence, but to vlog a whole affair from start to finish, we've never seen it.
And then get sued for it.
Then get sued for it in one of the states who holds people accountable for intervening and severing the marriage.
Right. Right. Now, let me just a little numbers game here. What is your largest audience during those recaps, during those live recaps?
So around day 3, I didn't know I had it was this young lady. I do not remember her name. I wish I remember her name so I can give her credit. But I came across a video and she was like, "Oh, Black Goddess ranked number 3." And I'm like, what the heck does that mean? I ranked number 3, I don't know. So it's like, oh, she ranked number 3. She had so many thousands of people and these many likes. And I think the number was like, I had like 16,000 people that was actually tuned in and like 24 million likes.
Wow.
In that live. And that was like on a Thursday. And then I think that Friday I was ranking number 1.
Wow.
And they was like, basically, you had taken over TikTok. And I was like, what? I only was just getting on reporting. And so I think around day 2 or 3 is when I realized that we collectively had the attention of the world. And the way we normally report, because we got a lot of backlash. There was a lot of videos. Oh, that the way that we reporting, I was too emotional. I cried too much, and this, that, and the third. I don't apologize for every tear that I shared in jury trial, even up to this day, because some of the stuff is still very triggering. But I don't apologize for me being authentically me. I'm not a journalist. I'm a social worker. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so even in my professional, in my field, it gets overwhelming.
Right.
And I shed tears. We're taught that, you don't do it in front of a client, which is why I don't do CPS side of it. because even with sitting in on their cases, I step out because I do cry.
Right.
So it's just a human part of me. But having to like say, okay, I got to report a little bit different because there's a lot of people. Like we had grasped the attention of the world. We
Literally
already
the world.
had, like literally, we already had the attention of everybody social media, on social media.
New term.
I promise on social media. So social media wise, we had the attention, but for us to be there, and each day the crowd grew bigger and bigger and bigger, and we didn't care about what people had to say. We realized that we was doing the Lord's work.
When you say the Lord's work, I find that I love that term, first of all, and I happen to agree. But when you say the Lord's work, what was the goal? What was the end goal? Was it obviously to uncover the truth and hear it in your own words? But what became the goal? What was the objective?
The objective was that to make sure that Akira's story was heard, and now we get to hear it from her voice in that courtroom, because we've heard a little bit of Devon's, and we heard a lot of Brene. We've seen a lot of Brene, and we've seen a lot of Tim. There was a lot that, even with them being on lives together, seeing a lot of things. So the goal was for the truth to be told, like honestly, just for the truth to be out, for us to be honest inside of our reporting, not to add, not to take away, but to give word for word as best as we could what was being said and shared in that courtroom. Of course, there were times where I felt like there were certain parts that were so sensitive as a parent. There were certain things I did not share out of respect for being a parent, that I felt like was sensitive when it comes to Tim and his daughter. Some people had shared it, I didn't. I felt like that was very sensitive, so that was probably like and the very detailed parts of the intimacy between him and Akira. So I left some of those things out.
Right.
Those two things that I did. I didn't detail. I just actually went in detail about him swimming in the pool. Yeah.
What was the most shocking thing that you heard during the trial?
I would say the thing that actually literally took me out, were the whites.
Okay. So, just to recap that, this was Devin's testimony, correct?
Yes.
Where he had stated that Tim had come over and that Renee and Tim had been intimate, and then Tim called his son into the room. Renee called the son into the room and asked the child to bring her wipes so she can clean herself up.
Yes, that was, we lost a juror like day 2.
Yeah.
And the way that she described and felt on day 2, and we had learned this on day 3, is how I felt, like knots in my stomach, very nauseated, sick to the stomach. I mean, it's like, how could you? It was just like so, oh,
Yeah.
it was very disgusting and disturbing to hear. So I would say that was the most shocking thing, is like, how low can you go?
Yeah.
How disturbed can you be of an individual that no, the child did not see nothing. The child did not witness, that what went on behind closed doors. But the reason that you needed those wipes, and you involved a child without that child even knowing.
Children can follow context. Yeah.
You're not in the bathroom. Right. Why you can't come out the room to get wipes?
And you're not his mother. And so there's already the child's already has this understanding of, why are you with my dad anywhere?
Right. Yeah. But not even only that, I don't think a real mother would put their child in a situation to say, hey, can you bring me wipes? You mean to tell me you didn't have a shirt that you could use until you got to the bathroom?
Yeah.
You asked a child to bring, and then the shocking part was Devin was there, witnessed you calling this child to bring wipes, so you were being intimate with somebody else's husband while your husband was in the room, and I don't know if he knew what was going on, but I know for sure when you asked for them wipes, he was very aware.
Right.
Now, so.
Wow. Yeah, that entire scene is really, really hard to listen to. I can only imagine. I did hear from you all during your recaps that Akira broke down when she learned about that. So that I'm left to assume that means she didn't know about it.
That's triggering.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, oh God, you don't have to cut it.
Okay. Yeah. Took a quick break because this obviously had a profound effect on you. And I can absolutely sympathize with that. As somebody who has watched trials, just televised trials, there have been certain trials that still haunt me when you understand the gravity and the weight of evidence. As a human being with basic empathy, it hurts you. But when you have to witness something like that, it really sticks to you.
Yeah.
As you're reporting this back, you got a lot of criticism for crying during your lives.
Like now.
Yeah, like now. You got a lot of criticism for that. Why do you think that bothered people so much?
I don't know. I think, with people, number one, when you think about the work of a journalist, because that's what they say, we did the work of a journalist. However, journalists have to remain unbiased in situations, and they cannot be emotional. So having that mindset that, hey, you're reporting something, but you're crying. But that's not how I don't tie myself to that term.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what kind of like maybe possibly put people, people were bothered by it.
Right.
Me, the emotional part of it, being able to report something without having the emotions of it.
So they assign the job title and then tell you you're not doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is that? So let's just clear up the record. Are we journalists?
We're not. Absolutely.
Are we commentators? I think I'd like that term. We commentate on what we see, right?
Most definitely.
We report on what we see.
We do.
But we're not journalists.
Right. And then the beauty part of that, you get to do it in how you feel, in however way that it comes out.
Yeah.
As long as if it's not like nasty and degraded. Now, I will say this, that there was a time where I can foresee something that the judge was doing before Tim and Akira case. And I was like, oh my God, they trying to lock their asses up. Oh, baby, one of the supporters was so upset because of the way that I said it. And she was like, I used to follow you, but I don't follow you no more. And I was like, well, let me do a better job. I'm going to block you. You don't ever have to worry about it. Because I didn't mean it like that. But then going back looking at it, it was like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't have said that. And even with the criticism received, criticism and backlash, because I like to take moments as a learning experience. And I was like, I don't want to change who I am. However, I feel like I can do a little bit better in the way that I'm reporting. I try not to be as emotional, but I can't promise, that I'm not going to cry and be emotional. But let me see if I can perfect this a little bit better. So that was the goal. So I didn't mind constructive criticism, because a lot of times they was like, oh, BG started off and she don't finish her sentence. I go back and rewatch. I'm like, dang, I really don't. I be like, so I'm like, okay, girl, you got to finish your sentence.
Right.
But I was like, y'all remind me if I'm talking, because the thing is, we're giving it to you hot off the press. We ain't even had a chance to actually process it ourselves.
Right.
We're reporting.
Right.
And it's so much to report. We're just trying to give it to you in this little short span that we have. And then even after going live at night, it's the live is super long. You get off live, you've been on live. Dang, I've been on live 5 hours talking.
Right after all day in breaks.
Yes, yeah. So it was overstimulating. So like just going back, I like to go back. I know Caramel say, "Well, I hate to hear how I talk on camera," but I like to go back to see what I need to do to perfect, so that I don't, because you know you're still giving to your supporters, and if they see something that you need to change that would be better for the whole platform, that's what you do. And so I was like, yeah, I see where I started to say this, but it's the thing is you're on live, you got these millions of questions coming through. So you start answering the question and you see another one and you're trying to answer everybody's question. And then people are like, oh, you missed my question. Oh, you're not this. So I think that's what a lot of that comes from, that people don't know until they're actually in that moment. But going back to review and have moments like that help you to slow it down and perfect.
Right. So now you're gearing up for round 2, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Because Devin's motion to reactivate his lawsuit has been granted.
Yes.
How are you mentally preparing for everything that Devin is about to drop?
I don't know if I'm mentally prepared. I don't know if you can be mentally prepared. That's just like when we went into this case. I don't know. I don't think I came in with a expectation other than just telling the people what was told in court.
Yeah.
But I think as far as like being able to go in the reporting, most definitely I want to make sure that we don't have what we had the first time, that is a lot more professional.
Sure.
Yeah. This go round. So I think that that's the plan coming in.
Polish it up a little.
Yes.
Yeah.
The way that we work, we're so in sync now.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the plan, is to make sure that we are more professional. We do suspect that there will be a larger crowd for Devin's case because of people weren't expecting us in the outcome in the first one. So not only that, we know that we have a lot of people who don't like us too.
Sure.
So having to be mindful of that we're not coming for chaos and confusion and to argue and to say who does this and who did this. It's just to focus. One thing that we don't want to happen is what happened last time, just a lot of confusion. So for us to, like, even when we came on yesterday, there was no arguing.
No.
There was no live streaming.
No.
There was no nitpicking. Yeah, there was a little hiccup with Teddy and Renee in the hallway, but all Teddy was doing was recording like we always do.
Right.
And then, of course, we always see who's the aggressive one.
Right.
Yeah. The Renee and the Tim.
Right.
And Renee's mama, unfortunately. So we just we're there, but we're not there to.
We're there to observe, right? Yeah,
we're there. It's not to antagonize you. It's not even to make you uncomfortable, even though you're very bothered by our presence. So that's all, and that's what we plan to do in Devin's trial.
Yeah,
is to be there to support like we did in the magnitude in which we supported Akira, but to do it even greater and better than we did it the first time, and with so much class.
I love that. Yes. All right. Well, then I guess I'll see you in court, Miss Ma'am.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, BG.
You're welcome.